Not her just flying over like Free Willy. She's like, I just wanted to let you know I didn't die, okay? Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka GeekXX Chic, and we are here with a brand new Netflix cinematic event in the world of The Witcher, one of my favorite worlds out there. We are doing their new animated spinoff, which is called The Witcher Sirens of the Deep. So this one's going to be a lot of fun, I think, because unlike some of the other animated ones they've done, our boy Geralt is actually going to be in the center of this. And I heard tell that the voice actor is the same one that does his voice in the video game. So that's a nice little Easter egg carryover that they're doing for this particular series. So the synopsis is pretty short here. It's saying that when human sailors are attacked by mysterious creatures of the deep, only one person can stop the war between land and sea, our good old man Geralt of Rivia. So I'm very excited to jump into this. There's not much else to say. We're going to go in there and go ahead and watch. But just before I do, if you're new here, welcome. Thank you so much for coming and watching my stuff. I do reactions to all sorts of good stuff like shows like this and movies. So if you are interested in watching me do a lot more of that, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. All right, that out of the way, let's jump into the show right now.
And those shoes weren't made for climbing rocks. Wait on shore.
Ooh. You got sun.
I need to be amongst the action to compose a proper
You need to not break your foot on the way up. Good shot. I was supposed to say, they did have a leash, but no, it's a hook. Now you run, Yaskier? That spin, though. How is the Circle of Life tree underwater? I swear if I say no more, anywhere here. Oh, I like the Witcher symbol. Makes more sense now. Ooh, and the way they have the water reflecting off of it. Attention to detail. We love that. Very interesting the way they're creating this language, the kind of sing-songy way they're holding out their words.
If one sea creature is in danger, we all are.
She's right.
I mean, but he didn't kill it.
Into consideration.
Mother, you cannot be serious.
Shush.
If a human's mouth opens, a lie is bound to come forth.
I wish I could say she ain't telling the truth, but...
Be gone from this place, Melusina. Our daughter could never marry
I
a
mean,
human.
where would they
Not
live?
that you could ever understand the depth of a mother's love for her child.
Did she just call?
Damn, she did.
You're a monster hunter, but only sometimes, apparently. And
He's
with
got
conditions.
principles.
A moral code.
Exactly.
No
That's
more
love.
Yennefer.
Oh, speaking of No More Yennefer, we're just gonna jump straight into a flashback of him fantasizing about the last time they were naked together. Get off your knees, Geralt.
You cover the booze, I'll cover the bed.
She says with full of double entendre.
Then another thing you're wrong about. Good night.
Good
night.
sir. That good night lasted all, what, 2 hours? We're just gonna get their whole story in the next 5 minutes. Damn.
This bread is inedible!
That hurt my teeth.
Getting a fancy bard like yourself would do wonders.
Who was that?
The king will be there, so we need to put on a good show. And I pay well.
Pay, that is what we need. But this is a trap. Who was that girl? How did Geralt not like hear or smell her?
The last time I left you alone at a banquet, you ended up
He did.
with a child.
A child's surprise. And it's a mistake I won't soon make again.
And again, it was a surprise. That's the operative word there.
Does that mean what I think it means? Because I'm afraid I can only accept top billing.
A deal's a deal.
Yeah, you did say it accepted.
Oh, excuse my slack-jawed companion. Essie Davin, meet Geralt of Rivia.
Geralt's got a crush already. Look at that.
This one's a backwater bumpkin, just like the rest of us.
So I took some poetic license with my personal history. Big deal.
I mean, if you feel that strongly about your home. I need to stand here in the moonlight and daydream about the girl that I'm obsessed with, but pretending I'm not. The purple water reminds me of the shine of her eyes.
People in your parts just stop breeding like bunnies.
How about you mind your business?
What we do the rest?
Toss that worthless shit back.
That's what you get. How dare you call somebody else's meal useless. Look how much they fished. to waste. Oh, that transition was good.
And the one where you found a djinn. Saved the life of a beautiful witch and became bound to her through magic.
Damn. Well, didn't dispute that one.
I love the sea, my family and friends. What more could this continent offer me?
Man, he's married.
Normal-sized. Perfectly ordinary and unremarkable human eyes.
Bumbly Geralt's adorable.
Flirting is not your strong suit.
No, it's
is it,
not. He's
Witcher?
like, I'm a hot. That's usually enough. Pretty face, nice body. That usually does it.
I pity the local hack who has to follow me.
Wish me luck.
I love that she just allows him to just keep stepping into whatever he needs to step into.
People used to mistake her singing for mating cats, so whatever happens, just smile and clap.
She's probably improved greatly since you left, sir. And she's got a full band.
My musical ear's not very good, but
She is. She is very good. Wait, she's singing my song.
Damn. It's a small town, Yaskir. I mean, clearly no one knows her outside of this place. Let her have it.
I don't recall asking for your opinion.
That's
Witcher.
great, because I didn't
That's right.
actually care.
I know who you are.
Do you?
if you know my name, it's because you know his songs.
That's where you stand up for Yaskir.
I was speared by those fish fucks. The Vodnik. They got me.
Sir!
For good.
Could you not have coughed your blood up outside? This is a clean floor.
A human navy attacking us. We'd be at war by now. Are we a kingdom or are we cowards?
Both kingdoms tied by their children.
And a monster hunter in our midst.
Witcher, your services are required.
Excuse me.
Find the Vodnik who did this and kill it.
No.
If the Witcher confirms that they're the ones attacking divers, you'll have no choice but to declare war.
I don't. Okay. Where's the misunderstanding of you're killing all their food?
A deal's a deal.
This isn't what we agreed to.
Exactly. This is not the same.
Aha! I knew it! I knew it! I could sense there was something between you two.
If by something you mean air and space.
Nice try, Geralt.
But underneath the armor, and the weapons, and the hair, the ridiculous, ridiculous hair, you are
Jealous.
nothing but a softie. Connecting with another human isn't as awful as you make it seem.
It's not the reason he doesn't connect. Man's seen a lot of death. Okay, Pantene Pro V commercial.
I couldn't help you.
How? Okay, that's actually a pretty good smoke screen. Or water screen.
That Vodnik can fight, but it couldn't take out a whole boatload alone. They travel in schools. But how?
I was right, schools! Oh, so the Vodniks are working with the bastard prince. That's what's happening, right?
The tide shifts at over 10 cubits, and we're almost at low ebb. Look.
I mean, she does know this area better than you. Doesn't hurt to have a guide.
She was radiant, gracious. She had a knack for seeing only the best
She
in
was
people.
pretty.
Gods know that must be why she said yes to me.
No, it's because you're rich.
Our union has the potential to bring peace to land and sea.
How so, Aglaval? Where would you live?
Thank you!
Whatever you need, I'm here to serve the kingdom. And you, Father.
Thank you, Celeste.
He is looking to take you out and his brother.
I wish you were my full-blooded son. I'd love to see the type of leader you'd be.
Yep, I see where this is going. And also, what does it matter? Like, you fathered the boy, you should have just raised him to be a prince like his brother. You reign at the pearls.
Elven horns, basilisk scales, and now pearls. It's no longer about sustenance.
It's about greed, period.
A parent would do anything to protect a child. She believes Prince Aglaval to be a threat.
Oh, that friends. Okay.
Sounds like you're trapped in your past.
Excuse me, you need to unhand me because my girlfriend will come into my dreams and scold me.
Stop by looking right in front of you.
Yes, Garrett. I didn't say anything. I'm just gonna go in my room, put in some earplugs.
Aglaval and the princess better turn up soon.
I cannot deny a dear friend's humble request.
She's just learning your songs so she can play them again. You know this, right?
Underneath shriveled branches that filled our nostrils and our...
We don't want to know what it filled.
Fair enough, but alas...
I don't know. I actually was getting into it. Lover? I was about to say that the physics aren't physicsing, my fan. Bro, you want to marry this girl and you can't even speak her language yet? Boop, it's getting touchy.
I cannot believe I fell for this. For you.
And look at that. Your love wasn't all that deep at all, huh? How the hell did you... You know what? I don't need to know. Yeah, no, I need to know. I'm sorry. I don't want to know, but like my brain's trying to figure it out now.
If war is declared, your nephew will either be on a ship or a gibbet.
See, sometimes you just need to take care of people when they're young, is all I'm saying.
There, Poppet. A relationship is bound to hit choppy waters occasionally.
So this is the she.
My mother is preparing for war.
I forgot about her, even though we saw her.
I also know what it's like to love a man you cannot be with.
Really? We're still on this?
This will allow you to take your lover's form.
You mean I'd...
Okay, Ursula, what's going on here? What? Ursula's singing a song about giving up your mermaiddom for love? This is crazy. Are they allowed to do this? Is Disney gonna sue? What is the ant getting out of this, though? It's a part I'm not understanding.
All my friends.
A pittance.
And my mother.
This is literally the Little Mermaid!
You keep that. You never know what will happen, Poppet. A girl always needs options.
That is crazy. I cannot believe they basically took the Little Mermaid's Ursula and Ariel scene and just interchanged a handful of things. Wow.
Vodnik have legs, and yet none of them climbed aboard the ship.
Good point.
Whoever killed the divers attacked only from the water.
Like a mer person.
Queen Gahoot is behind this.
I told you, a parent would do anything for their child.
Wow, Auntie's framing her sister, but that's what happens when you steal her man, I guess.
What do you have for us, Witcher? Empty hands and a mouthful of excuses, no doubt.
You're looking to get backhanded, sir.
It took the shape of a kraken, so it could do the work of 10 Vodnik.
So sis can turn into a kraken? That's actually badass? Can we talk about that?
A kraken couldn't pull off an attack like...
I didn't say...
He said took the
kraken.
form of...
I said the shape
Listening
of a kraken.
comprehension.
I found this necklace on the rudder of the Pearl Diver boat.
You think they'd be that careless, though?
Only one of the royals can make potions and shapeshift. The Sea Witch.
Period.
Melusina. I know she can do magic.
Melusina,
But how do you...
This is literally the Little Mermaid, you guys. I'm scared.
Run, Melusina!
Do any of this. Guess who's back? Back again. Scaly's back to kill your friends. This is so Little Mermaid, guys. Like, literally, I don't know. There might be a lawsuit pending after this, because right down to the swirling purple magic, really? I mean, The Little Mermaid is not like Disney's property. It is a tale that's been around for a long time. It's just crazy. Even I should have gotten the cue from the bubbles. She's an This is literally The Little Mermaid. This is crazy. Damn, a mint. He just had a character growth arc. Get revenge for your bully, bro. Camera work. Woo! Geralt saving your life again. Someone tells me they're not going to eat fish ever again.
I should have been on the throne with my Basim, but Dahut took it.
So you're killing me?
They deserve to lose everything, and they will.
Okay.
Your human didn't even care.
Oh, he's on the way.
She and us.
Oh, look at that. She had love and you don't. So you really are just a hag. That's why your ex broke up with you. Come on, Prince Eric. Okay, it works. What happened to his lovely curls, though? Potion just took the ethnicity right out of him. Damn. And there's ones with dreads. I'm joking. Look at the beautiful water show. Free, too. Suck on that, King Jerk.
Lives could have been saved. You had 2 sons.
Now you have none. Exactly.
That is the legacy you deserve.
Period.
Aglaval's prepared to give up his entire life and everything he knows. I hope he's made the right decision.
We'll find out soon enough.
I couldn't have figured out the truth without you. It's not something I'm used to saying.
Aw. Wow, that's a low-cut shirt, ma'am.
I found it wise not to trust others.
Who said love should be wise?
Love? Yaskir's right there. He's such a freak, though. He's probably going to be watching, let's be real.
I've had enough adventure these past few days to last a lifetime. But someone else's lifetime. I always wondered what life would be like if I left Bremerville.
Not hair. Why don't the carpet match the...
I could never tame nor witch a heart, nor do I want to.
Okay. She's like, I just wanted to ride, that's all.
No, there's no rhyme or reason to this song. You simply dance along to get by. Ooh. I'm not like you, Essie.
Words. Aw, as they watch the sunrise together. Summon her like Beetlejuice. She's gonna be there. Ooh, I like this background. Nice. All right, is that it? I guess so. All right, guys. Well, that was The Witcher Sirens of the Deep. And I think that was good. Like, animation wise, I wasn't at all, my expectations were high. I wasn't worried. I knew that it was going to look good because the other animated series that they put out have all been really, really well done. So I expected the same here. But yeah, it took me a minute to really catch on. Forgive me. And some of y'all might have caught on a lot sooner than I did. But I was like, especially that whole situation when it came to the aunt and Shinaz, is that her name? That was like, oh my God, this is literally The Little Mermaid. But I keep forgetting that, yes, for those who are unaware, The Little Mermaid story, even though Disney has coined it and made it their franchise, the story itself does not belong to Disney. It was by Hans Christian Andersen long before, and the actual story is incredibly dark. If you don't know, look it up, but it's not the greatest. It doesn't have the same happy ending that we see here, and obviously it does not have an ending of a human turning into a mermaid. But yeah, I think this was just a really fun foray. Of course, there wasn't so much about Geralt. Like, I have to say, this whole thing was kind of more about telling the Little Mermaid story, I think, with a twist than it was about any type of development for Geralt or any new revelations about him as a character. We really were focused on this whole story, this isolated story in this little seaside town. And, the main things I took away from that were, The Little Mermaid is a great reference for a lot of things in our real world, right? A human falling in love with a mermaid. I said from the get-go, like, where do they come together? How does that even work, right? The love is beautiful that it transcends these two actual races, but there's the expression that say a bird may fall in love with a fish, but where would they live, right? And that was kind of the situation, right? Like, their youth allowed them to believe that love would be enough, but the reality was that one of them was going to have to make a huge sacrifice in order for them to actually have a genuine relationship, right? And we heard what's her name, Little Eye. She was saying that, this is beautiful. Their love is cute, but being in love is being together. They can't be together like this where they can only meet on a rock every so often, right? Like, it's not feasible. And of course, progeny, right? In both of them cases, they're both royalty. I called her Ariel. Anyway, she's a princess, right? Their royal line has to go through her. And the same thing, well, actually, it wasn't the same thing with, I need these names. I'm sorry. Where is the cast? So, and the king didn't only have one son. We see that he had Yaskir's bully as his other child, but he wasn't a legitimate child. And he could have had a progeny through that son, right? If he had one child who didn't want to live the way of the earth, he could have had his other son who would have been, from the looks of things, a pretty good prince. He was a little bit arrogant. He definitely had a little bit of asshat in him, but by and large, it looks like he cared about the people and he was trying in his own brusque way to do the right thing and be a good king and be a good, a good prince, and, potentially he could have been a good king. But because the king had this arrogant, very narrow-minded view of what his legacy was supposed to look like, he just could not entertain that. And, as Geralt said at the end, you had two sons and now you've lost them both, right? Your selfishness, your narrow vision is why we're we're here. And as I said, I feel like everything in this show very much focused on this family, from this young, I mean, the young prince wasn't really much of the bulk of the story, right? If you think about it, he didn't have a lot of development. His job was really just to be the bridge between the two kingdoms and the person who was staying the hand of the king for causing this war. And the same with the Mer princess, right? Like Shinaz was really very much, she was a plot device, right? Both of them, their relationship was a plot device for the larger issue of this potential war, the prejudices that existed between the merfolk and the humans, and, you know, Geralt coming in and trying to be a voice of reason in all of this, because like he said, like, I may be a killer for hire, but I've got morals, damn it. I don't just go around killing people willy-nilly. Like, there has to be a reason, creature or human, actually. He's like, I don't take life unless there's really no other choice. And very interesting, though, that we saw his morals being mocked more than once, right? It was by Jaskier in the beginning when he was upset about the fact that they didn't get paid for their job. And then again, we saw that his bully said the same thing, where he's like, oh, what kind of witcher doesn't, you know, do what he's supposed to do? Like, what kind of stupid morals are those? And I think it's interesting that they do that, because obviously we know that from watching the series, and we know that there are other witchers that very much do just look at it as a merc job, right? You give me the money, I don't care what it is, I don't ask questions, I just take people out. But Geralt has never been like that, right? Geralt has always been someone who, despite the fact that he's had to become somewhat emotionally distant for his own sanity, he doesn't fully detach from people. He wants to, but he can't, right? That's why Jaskier follows him around, right? We saw when he first met Jaskier, he didn't want him around. He tried to push him away. Jaskier kept pushing. And now we saw how many times that Geralt has saved Jaskier's life, and how even when he stood up to his bully, when he was like, you know, how dare you not see the talent and the goodness in this man? Like, you know, like, that shows that Geralt is a big softy under it all, right? His love for Yennefer, that toxic relationship. I actually like Geralt and Yennefer together, but let's not pretend like their relationship is not bumpy as all hell. But anyway, like, the fact that he's so attached to this woman, and that even though he does his best to try to move on from her, he just can't, right? That's the love of his life right there. That's the connection. And then of course we've seen with his connection to Ciri, right? That's his daughter, right? So it's just, Geralt has always been a very emotional person, and he does have a moral compass. Like, he doesn't like to do what he does. He didn't choose to become this either, right? People sometimes forget that Geralt didn't choose to be a witcher. Not really, right? I mean, he was a child. It was become a witcher or die of starvation. That's not much of a choice. So, you know, Geralt did what he thought he had to do, and he's never loved this life, but he does the best that he can. And that morality is a good thing, because there was a lot of lives that were spared because Geralt didn't just take a side or just think of the money aspect of it, right? He was like, there's no reason for this. Like, I've lived long enough to know that so much of this senseless death is just that, senseless. And, you know, the seas are always going to be there, and the merfolk need to be there, and the humans are always going to be there. So isn't it better for them to find a way to coexist versus fighting each other, or, you know, continuing this legacy of hatred, right? So anyways, that was probably as much as we got for Geralt, was more of him just defending the kind of person that he is, but also him recognizing, or starting to recognize, that he needs to be less scared of loving people. Like I said in the show, that when you're someone like Geralt who's lived as long as he does, and seen as much death as he does, and seen how people have sometimes changed for the worst, you understand why he guards his heart, right? Like, it's really a protection mechanism for his own sanity, as I said, because hello, like, he knows how painful it can be to lose people over and over and over again. But because he has such a long life, for it not to become this thing where he becomes a jaded, just hardened, angry person, he needs to love, right? He's still a human, right? Even though he's got all these magical powers and all these augmentations, he is still a human at his core, and he needs love. And the only way that he'll be able to continue with this long life is to continue to let people in, and to love them, and to allow them to love him back. And I think, you know, he said in the end that, you know, Yennefer makes more sense for him, because she too has lived a long life, and she too is going to live a long life like him. And that does make sense, in the sense of neither of them are going to lose each other anytime soon. But all the same, as the expression goes, you know, you're not really living life if you're afraid to open yourself up, right? Like, loss is going to happen regardless, but you shouldn't stop yourself from experiencing love and joy and all those fleeting things just because there might be a downside to it, because that's just not the way to go. We're all going to go at some point, so we want to make sure we have a good ride on the way. But anyway, that was pretty much, yeah, there's not much to say about it. It literally was the plot of The Little Mermaid. They definitely took Hans Christian Andersen's story and just applied a little bit more of a visceral nature to it than what we saw in the Disney version. As I said, I should have picked up from the bubbles in the beginning when the sea witch turned into bubbles. In the original version, that's what ends up happening when mermaids die, they turn into bubbles. And anyway, I think it was an interesting take. I feel like I said, having the song even during the time when she's trying to convince Shinaz to take the potion, I was like, damn, this is so on the nose that I almost wonder if it's legally okay. But I'm pretty sure Netflix would not have taken that kind of a chance. But either way, interesting interpretation. And as I said, I really do like the change in the story, where I love that they brought out in this show, or in this movie, that in The Little Mermaid, the original one anyways, Ariel is the one who gave everything up, right? The Little Mermaid is the one who effectively was willing to give everything up for this man, right? And I like that Shinaz really spelled it out, like just how much of a sacrifice it was going to be for her. Because I feel like in the Disney version, they kind of gloss over that, right? They're like, oh, she's like, I'll never see my father and friends again, and my sisters again, and oh, my little, you know, my little collection of things I collected, like, oh, like she just makes it seem so surface, like the things she's giving up are just like things that people would get, you know, grow up and leave behind at some point anyways. Like, no, like this was her entire world. She was a princess, and yes, of course, in the Disney version, she had like a billion siblings, so it wasn't like it was gonna be that much of an impact per se if she left. But you know what I'm saying? Like, they very much trivialized what Ariel was giving up in that version, whereas in this one, I love that Shinaz was like, no, I'm giving up everything I've ever known, my culture, my family. I am the only one of my line, so I'm risking the royal line. Like, there is a lot I'm giving up here, and I'm passionate about my world, my people, the oceans. Like, this is something, this is my world. Like, I have to give all of that up for a whole culture that I don't even like particularly, who probably are never going to accept me or accept my extended family, right? So I love that they brought out that that's a huge sacrifice for anyone to make, and you really have to go into it wide-eyed, and that she didn't take it right away, right? Like, you saw her aunt was pushing, and she was like, oh, big deal, you know, it's like, fine, you're gonna gain a man, you love him, don't you? That's the main reason, right? The same argument we saw in the other movies. But we see that thankfully Shinaz said, nah, let me sleep on this. Like, let me take a minute and really think about whether or not this is the right move for me. And then we see in the end that it wasn't. Thank goodness, it really wasn't. And for once, we actually had the prince decide that actually I love her, and it's true. Like, she's sacrificing so much already. She's lost so much because of our greed. I'm going to make the sacrifice, and I'm going to go to her. Even though for him, it was definitely a huge impact being now the sole heir to the throne. He said, that's just too bad. You saw, and I think that when he made that decision, when he really made the decision to take the potion, was in the end when we saw them playing the chess game, and his dad acted like absolutely nothing happened. Everything that went down, he's like, oh, okay, cool. She takes the potion. Oh yeah, now my heart's changed. If she can look like us, if she can shed everything about the things that I don't like about her, and you know, the things that I'm prejudiced against, and look like us and take on our customs and basically completely cut herself off from her background and her culture, then of course I've got room in my heart for her. We'll just have to make sure that we scrub everything about her and no one knows her history, and we just pretend it never happened so our heirs will never know their, like, and just with a straight face in front of his son after everything happened, he actually had the audacity to have that conversation. And I think that's exactly when, you know, his son realized he's never changing. Like, if I bring her here, it'll be the worst thing I could ever do to her, because he will never accept her. Not really. Like, all that stuff he said was all bluster. The second she ever said anything or did anything that remotely reminded him of the fact that she was a mermaid, believe me, that king would have made sure to let her know. So I think that's really when he decided that he was going to be the one to make the sacrifices, because he didn't want to live in that world. He didn't want to be the person that his father was trying to mold him into. And I think between that and the lecture he got from Essie, who basically was like, is it Essie? Essie was the girl, right? Yeah. Where she basically is like, what kind of king do you want to be? What kind of kingdom do you want to make? I think that's when he kind of recognized that that's not the life he wanted either. That even though he was a king by, as she described it, he was a king by fortune, a fortune of birth. He didn't want that. It was not the role he wanted. His brother, sadly, the one that was never accepted, he wanted it. He was the one who was more than willing to build the kingdom and do everything that his father wanted him to do, but that was never him. And so anyways, I feel like that's when he made his decision that was it. He was like, I'm giving this up and my dad's just gonna have to deal with the consequences. So do I think it's gonna last? No, I'm gonna be real. My cynical ass, no. Let's be real. I mean, this man has never been a mer person. We'll see how long he can actually deal with that life. And also I had questions because I'm like, how do we know that potion is forever? Maybe it is, but I'm like, the sea witch is dead and she always switched back to being a hero. Mind you, she did that without the potion, right? Yeah, she was a shapeshifter. Maybe it is permanent. I don't know. But I'm just like, it's a very good chance maybe he'll just pop and turn into a human one day. What then? But anyway, But the moral of the story is that I do like that they switched it around so that it wasn't all on the mermaid this time to give up everything. It was actually the man who decided that maybe another place and another way of living is the better way. And like I said, it's a good metaphor for different types of relationships and cross-cultural relationships. It's very relatable to anybody who's ever dated or married somebody who is not of their background, and sometimes the hurdles that can occur when people try to do that, and what, the sacrifices that sometimes have to be made in order to make that love work. So beautiful message there, especially, since this is the season of love. So I think that was kind of nice. But yeah, overall, I really liked it. It was a fun twist on a classic story. And as I said, the animation was on point. All those fight scenes were absolutely well done. Like, Netflix animation has been absolutely taking it since last year. And I really hope they continue into the future with that, because yeah, I'm enjoying it. Nice little quick interim segue to get us ready for what will be the final season of the live action version of The Witcher later this year. So yeah, I think this was a nice little treat and I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love and I will see you in the next one.